everyone, happy day 305. For the past few weeks, Billy has been having some anxiety around bedtime, mostly over falling asleep. Each night has been getting worse, and I think last night was probably the worst. When he was 7, he was diagnosed with a disorder called PANDAS. Yes, even though it makes one think of a cute panda bear, it's actually an acronym for Pediatric Autoimmune Neuropsychiatric Disorder associated with a strep infection. In short, for some reason in some kids, strep runs havoc through their bodies and can give them anxiety and OCD. The good thing about this that is easily treated with antibiotics and anti-inflammatory medicine. Once these medicines start working and the strep is under control, all the anxiety and OCD behaviors go away. Weird, I know. When Billy first had symptoms, I had no idea what was going on with my son. He was like a different kid overnight. I remember being scared and anxious myself. One day while at work, I was discussing Billy's situation with a client friend, and another client next to us overheard our conversation. She said to me, "I am really sorry to butt in, but I think your son may have PANDAS." She went on to tell me about her experience with it and what happened to her daughter. I was honestly floored and found it hard to believe, but once I looked up the symptoms, I thought she might be right. After calling Billy's pediatrician and trying to convince him of this unfamiliar disorder, he finally agreed to do blood work for Billy to see if he had elevated levels of strep in his body. Sure enough, 2 days later, the proof was in his blood. He was full of strep. We then gave him amoxicillin, and 2 weeks later, my Billy was back. We have since seen a PANDAS specialist in Boston that officially diagnosed him. He told us that even though the medicines work when he gets an outbreak, there is no way to completely make it go away. It will eventually go away on its own when he reaches puberty. But until then, he may or may not have an outbreak if he is exposed to strep. So that brings me to what we are dealing with now. I say all of this not for sympathy, but to create awareness. Maybe there is someone out there that needs me to do for them what that client did for me. In sharing our experience, we may help another family that is struggling. I'm a firm believer that whatever bad we go through in life, God will use it to bring forth good as long as we are willing to surrender to Him. Last night, when Billy was tossing and turning, we prayed. We thanked God for this struggle. We thanked Him for this opportunity to grow closer to Him and learn something. Even though it's tough and we don't like it, we are still grateful. After we were done praying, Billy looked at me with his sleepy big brown eyes and said, "Can we please listen to Bishop Barron say the rosary?" In that moment, it didn't matter that I was tired. All that mattered was that I could see the good shining through in that dark hour. If looking to God in his Catholic faith is what Billy gets out of these sleepless nights, I know I can endure a few more. Bring 'em on. This afternoon, when the rain started to come down, I sat at my camp table, read the daily readings, and wrote. In the first reading, we hear from the prophet Jeremiah. The Lord spoke to him and told him to go to a potter's house, and there he would get a message. So he went and watched the potter working with clay on a wheel. Every time the clay turned into an object he didn't like, he tried again. He worked the clay until it was what he needed it to be. Then Jeremiah heard the Lord say, "Can I not do to you, house of Israel, as the potter has done? Indeed, like clay in the hand of the potter, so are you in my hand, house of Israel." Lord, I pray today and always that I am like a piece of clay in your hands. Knead me, mold me, shape me, press me, and pull me until I am the form you desire. I hope all of you out there have a blessed day 305. Please know that I am praying for you always, and I will see you tomorrow.